What's going on, everybody? Today, on this special showcase of Diecast Emporium, I wanted to do a little something different, something we've never done before on this channel. As the holidays grow near, I wanted to do a kind of a collection update video. Starting in the year 1996, Hasbro and Hallmark teamed up to do the Tonka holiday ornaments. And 1996 was the first year that they did it, and for almost every year since that they've released a new vehicle every single year that you can go to your Hallmark store and buy. Unfortunately, I missed the very first year that they did it, back in 1996, but the model that they released was the Tonka Mighty Dump Truck, and it looked very similar to that. So it was 1996, that was the model that they released. It had like a loop up on top of the dump body, so that's the first in the collection. I do have every single other one that was released in the box. So in this video, we'll take a quick look at every single year and every model thereafter. So here is 1997, and this is the Tonka Mighty Front Loader. And these are all original. So I owe all of these to my parents. They got me started on this. I was 7 years old when I got this one, the first one. And I just recently came across the box of these at my dad's. And they were put on the tree every single Christmas. I looked forward to getting that year's edition. So, on the back, you can see here, introduced in 1967, the Mighty Front Loader ranked second in popularity only to the Mighty Dump Truck. That would explain why this was the second model released. The models are based on railroad trucks and the research and production methods which produce them. This keepsake ornament features a front bucket assembly that pivots just like the real thing. Alright, so let's take this out and take a look at it. These all retailed back in the day. I think actually the price is on this. Yeah, it is. This one was $13.95 US. Here it is. And there's actually a lot of die-cast metal that was used on these back in the day. And I'll show you here. Just like a real wheel loader, they implemented the articulation across a pivot point. Yeah, it wasn't that much, but at least a little bit was there. This is where your ornament hook would go through, and your bucket raised and lowered. I don't remember if this tilted. No, it didn't dump or anything. But it was still a nice representation of the Tonka front loader. So that was the second one. We'll put him off to the side here. And then in 1998, they came up with the road grader, right here, Tonka road grader. And you can see where the, unfortunately, the wrapping paper took some of this off. For more than 50 years, Tonka trucks have been based on real-world models. The road grader, which with its pivoting front wheel section and grader, is one of the most popular models ever offered. This highly detailed keepsake ornament presents the Tonka road grader in its distinctive yellow color and features a front section and grader that pivots just like the real thing. So this is number 3 of the series. Also was priced at $13.95. Here it is. So it had steering for the front axle, and the blade and didn't really turn or anything, but the exhaust was flexible plastic, which was cool. And just like the real Tonka truck, this lever here controlled the steering. So these were pretty cool for ornaments. I don't know how or why my parents kept these, but I'm really glad that they did. Alright, so 1999, they kind of went in a different direction. This was always one of my favorites. 1956 Suburban Pumper number 5. This was one of the first Tonka trucks that they did way back in the day. Blazing into the holidays in the bright fire engine red color of its time, the Tonka Suburban Pumper awakens a happy combination of childhood memories and dreams. This elaborately detailed ornament represents the popular pumper when it was first introduced in 1956. The hand grab bar on the back of this truck appeared only on the first year's model. The initials TFD refer to the Tonka Fire Department. We are still at the $13.95 price tag. And there it is. As I mentioned, this was always a favorite of mine. I just love the detailing on here. Very, very heavy piece. Tons of die-cast, tons of metal on here. Love the fact that it had all the hoses and stuff on it. Rubber wheels. Just a really nice piece. Cool way to close out the 90s. Okay, into 2000, they decided to come out with another dump truck. This is an on-highway dump truck. Just simply named the Tonka dump truck this time. Whether you made your Tonka truck go chug, 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 or vroom, it was an essential part of any sandbox construction site. This keepsake ornament is authentically detailed right down to the Tonka logo on the door to awaken memories of playground days gone by. This ornament is a replica of the 1953 model 180 cab over dump truck, which can be distinguished from previous models 1949 to 1952 by the length of the 3 horizontal lines on the front grille. No functionality on this one, guys, which would have been nice to see a functioning dump body, but still a hefty chunk of metal nonetheless. Kind of appropriate in holiday colors, red and green. And they modeled the lever like on the real one. And Tonka embossed in the tailgate there, which looked really cool. Personally, this was never one of my favorites. You would think for the year 2000 they would have come up with something, I don't know, really special, but there it is. Alright, 2001, on the other hand, my opinion, they did come out with something pretty cool. This is the 1955 steam shovel. Digging, scooping, lifting, Tonka steam shovels have been playing a major part in sandbox construction sites since 1946. That year, a company known as Mound Metalcraft Company produced 2 metal toys, and one was a steam shovel. The company, located near Lake Minnetonka, that's an original name, later adopted the name Tonka. The name, which originally meant great, has been associated with great fun for kids for more than 50 years. Tonka has produced steam shovels with a variety of features and colors that include red, green, and yellow. This keepsake ornament replica of the 1955 steam shovel is identified by its opening doors, tracks, and Mound Metalcraft logo. By the way, in case you're wondering, we have not hit inflation, and we're still at the $13.95 price point. So, one of the very few good things to come out of the year 2001, this model, or this ornament, rather. Pretty cool. So, this thing rotated. The shovel moved, and if I remember correctly, I believe this opened, didn't it? No. But the fact that it had the chains on it, I always thought it was just super cool. So, there's the steam shovel, rubber tracks, everything else for the most part is metal. There you go. Alright, moving on to 2002. We continue on with the theme of 50s and 60s Tonka vehicles with the 61 cement truck, Wherever there's an important imaginary road to be paved or a foundation to be poured, young construction chiefs know they can count on a Tonka cement truck to get the job done. Tonka has been producing cement mixers since 1960s when it introduced a black-walled tired model number 120. This keepsake ornament is based on the 61 cement truck, which featured white wall tires. Alright. Hope you guys are enjoying this video. If so, let me know in the comment section below. And by the end of this video, let me know which of these models is your favorite, and when you were little, or even if you weren't little, if you collected any of these. Alright, so there's the cement truck. Surprisingly, the barrel didn't move, but they did make the chute go up and down. Quick 360-degree view of the truck. All of these really didn't follow any particular scale at all, so there's no pattern there. Some of them are close to 187 scale, but certainly not exact. This one did come with a little card. Kind of cool. Alright, what are we up to? 2003? Yeah. Okay, so 2003 brought us the mighty Tonka crane with a clamshell. Oop, focus there, camera. Good things are built with Tonka trucks, especially imagination. And no Tonka earth mover collection would be complete without a crane. This highly detailed keepsake ornament is based on a Tonka model from the 1970s. Its swiveling crane was built onto a truck bed to make it even more powerful and efficient, just like the ones on the construction site in the real world. Alright. Here's the little card that came with that one. It's jammed into the plastic here. I don't think this one's... I don't know if I ever put this one on the tree back in 2003. I don't know. That seems about the time I would have stopped putting the stuff on the tree and just left it in the box. Alright, here's the crane. So mounted on a truck body, clamshell, which is pretty cool. And clamshell's not really that functional. You want to be careful with it anyway. It's a keepsake ornament. It's not really meant to do anything else. But it does spin. And yeah, very cool. All right. So I think we're getting into the next few. Might be the first time I've ever had these out of the box, because although I would continue to get these, here's an honest admission here, although I would continue to get these annually for Christmas gifts, I really, at this point in my life, when my young teens didn't care and wouldn't care to put these on the tree. But I digress. So here is 2004. This is the Tonka Giant Bulldozer. This is another one that had, well, we'll get to that in just a couple seconds. Tonka Giant Bulldozer. This is another one that fell victim to the ripping open of wrapping paper. Put on your hard hat and enter the construction zone. Here comes the Tonka Giant Bulldozer. Originally powering onto the scene in 1961, this Goliath of earth movers was a sandbox favorite, and now it's back in action. This diecast replica features deeply grooved crawler treads, an extra-wide blade, a realistic exhaust system, and an engine that is still fueled by pure imagination. And just in case you are clueless, they have thoughtfully provided not actual size. Duh. And we have now gone up into inflation. $14.95 now. I do remember actually liking this one because it was orange. Here's the collector card for that one. And here she is. I don't know how well it comes up on camera, and I have no idea if this was Tonka's intent or not, for lack of a better word, but it kind of reminds you of the old Alice in Chambers orange. Blade does go up and down. On the back here it says Tonka Toys, Mound, Minnesota. Okay. Now into 2005. We have the Tonka Wrecker. Right here. Day or night, rain or snow, there's no need to fear. On its way to save the day, the mighty Tonka Wrecker is here. Offering round-the-clock service 7 days a week, this diecast replica is as reliable as it is rugged. Boasting twin booms, tow cables and hooks, deep-grooved tires, and a blaze-red finish, this Tonka favorite from the early 1970s is still one tough customer. Power up your imagination and make way for your long-lasting memories. And again, just for those select few of you that are clueless, it's not an actual size of a real tow truck. Thank you, Box, for telling us that. Alright. So this particular offering is significantly larger than most of the other ornaments. You may have noticed that from the size of the box. Mighty Tonka here, 24-hour service. You have your little thing down here for your cars, your hook. It's a twin boom. Decent looking little truck, or rather big truck comparatively speaking. So for example, if I put the pumper next to it, you can see kind of comparatively how the size difference between the two. Alright, so for whatever reason, and I don't have a good answer for you, from 2000, or in 2006, 2007, there was not a ornament released for Tonka. But in 2008, for 1 year, they came back, very briefly, with the Tonka Mighty Roller. Here it is right here. Mighty Tonka Roller, make way for the heavyweight champ of the highways. Here comes the Mighty Tonka Roller. This rugged brute came steaming onto the scene in '71 and paved the way to big-time fun for several years after. Just like the original, this diecast keepsake replica features a realistic exhaust system, deep cleated tires, and a pivoting extra-wide drum that is always ready to roll. By the way, we're up to $15 now. Well, this one still has all the stuff on it. This is another one I never took out. So we're unboxing these all together, some of these for the first time. You should feel special. Alright, here it is. Again, just like the wheel loader, articulation. Really the only working part on this, besides, of course, the big compacting drum on the single drum roller. Pretty cool looking. I always have liked this type of machine. If you watch my channel, that's should be no surprise to you. Cool looking. So, from 2009 to 2014, there were no ornaments produced. Again, couldn't tell you why. My educated guess would be, had something to do with the recession that took place in that time period. So really from 2006 to 2014, there was only one done, and that was the roller you just saw for 2008. But in 2015, they came back. And, one moment please. Came back with the Tonka cement mixer. Right here. The cement mixer is built to build, always ready for the toughest of jobs. This Tonka is ready to mix and roll. Alright, so $14.95. 'Tis the tradition. Not much of a tradition when you take like a 7-year break, but anyway. Opening it up here. There it is. So if you're paying attention, this is the second cement mixer released in the set. This, of course, is cement mixer kind of on a mining body truck. This is another one of those that I had the real Tonka thing as a kid growing up and have countless hours on in many different sandboxes. So this was nice to get. These are all stickers. They're not painted or, you know. The 20 teens, as I'll refer to them, are not the nicest of them. There's a lot of plastic mixed in as opposed to the earlier ones, which have a lot of die-cast metal and a lot of paint application for the decals instead of stickers. But, nevertheless, here it is. So that's 2015. No other, like, trading cards or anything in the box, just that. Alright, 2016. Another one that most of us had as a kid in the sandbox, the mighty Tonka Backhoe. Robert, something German or another, loves filling his ornaments with tiny details and subtle surprises. Every artistic decision, from simple gestures to the positioning of clothing to choosing the perfect accessories, is purposely made to enhance the story or to simulate energy and movement. Fans may not notice every detail, but Robert knows when everything comes together and ornament comes to life. That was a complete waste of time. That tells us absolutely nothing about the Backhoe. Here we go. Alright, so here's the Backhoe. Again, lots of plastic used. Actually, all of this is plastic. There's no die cast on this one. And this is where the ornament hook goes. So, definitely times have changed and certainly evolved. If this was done in the 90s, early 2000s, this would have been a great ornament. But still cool nonetheless. Definitely brings back memories. And I don't know how many of you, but as a little boy I tried to like sit on this thing and pretend I was operating a real backhoe. Alright, so there's that one. So we are into 2017, where they decided to bring out another bulldozer. The mighty Tonka bulldozer. And I'm not going to bother reading this because quickly skimming through it, again, it tells us nothing about the actual bulldozer. Just about the German guy and his obsession for ornaments. Alright, here it is. Rubber tracks. Everything else is plastic. I don't know if the blade goes up, but we'll tell you that in a minute. No, it doesn't. Fixed in position. Stickers for the decals. which I guess you really can't call them decals if they're stickers. I guess we will leave them at stickers. But decent ROPS. But all plastic. But a cool representation of the bulldozer. Again, most of us had this as a kid, as the real Tonka bulldozer. Alright. Last two. We're up to 2018. And they re-released the Mighty Tonka Road Grader. Nothing there. By the way, we are at... Where's the price tag on this? Doesn't matter. Oh, it's all blacked out. Look at that. We have no idea what it is. Alright. Doesn't matter. So it's large and plastic. So there's the 2018 version. Here it is 20 years prior in 1998. Much smaller and in diecast. Stop moving. Thank you. You decide which one's better. That's a pretty easy decision. Okay. And last but not least, the most recent 2019. This one you can still, as of the taping of this video, drive to your local Hallmark and pick up today, should you decide to start this tradition for your little one, or perhaps yourself. This is the 2019 Mighty Tonka Bottom Dump, obviously taking some artistic inspiration from perhaps an old Euclid-style truck with that green. That's pretty dead obvious. But personally I like this one. I really do. I think it's pretty cool. And this was $17.99. Or if you're in Canada, $23.99. Here it is. So, obviously the bottom dump mechanism is not functional. It's just modeled kind of for looks. And the tractor portion of the trailer, there's no movement there. It's just a static model. But it's cool nonetheless. Mostly all plastic. But there's actually a fair amount of detailing that went into this one compared to the recent releases. You have your lights back here. Again, you have these that are done up. There's some detailing here, some lights up here. The front has some painting done. And your exhaust is done. You have Mighty Tonka here. So overall, the 2019 is probably the best. Definitely the best one done since at least 2008. Maybe since 2002. Definitely a nice addition. So I hope you guys liked this video. Certainly, I appreciate if you stuck around for the whole half hour of this. This is something I've never done before, so let me know if you guys like this kind of thing. I have another series of ornaments that I've done for a while, which was the Fire Brigade, which is a series of fire apparatuses. So if you guys think you might want to see something like that, I'd be happy to shoot a video. Just let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Be safe, take care. We'll see you in the next video.